What's up, everybody? What's up? I'm actually setting up now, so give me a few seconds. And as you come in, hit that like button. Everybody, as you come in, hit that like button. Come in, hit that like button. All right. Well, today everybody knows we have the donation links already set up, or will be set up. Go ahead and get that done, blah, 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 blah. And but what we're gonna do while we're getting that done, we're going to give me a second. See, this is why I don't like doing lives. Well, anyway, after going through a minute of this BS, the one that's not on there is PayPal, and the link for that is The Supreme Decisions. Now, today, I'm going to be kind of brief for the most part, because I want to talk about something, and if you read the title, you understand that it's regarding the dreadlocks that a young man here in Texas is not going to be allowed to graduate. And actually this morning he was suspended because he refused to cut his hair. Now I'm gonna go deeper into that, and I'm gonna talk about some recourse that's available to the family. But also at the end of this live, I'm going to give you something, because I've noticed in 2020, I don't know if it's me or if it's what's going on, but I noticed that the donations slowed down a lot. So what I'm going to do is now utilize Patreon a lot more. And I'm going to utilize the subscription aspects of it, as well as do similar things to the podcast. I'm also going to be working on putting together, what is that? The website. I actually got all the information on that. So as we're growing, as we're going, we're going to look to do better things with what we have available to us. And right now, these are the things that are necessary because of, I actually just looked at my last video, 39 of 100, and it was demonetized, which is not, not something that's unusual for this. So without further ado, let go. All right. Today, the young man, like I spoke about, he was suspended from a school here in Texas and for not cutting his hair. Now, the biggest issue with this, it goes into a conversation, for the most part, of freedom of expression, freedom of religion, and what the school is standing on is not either one of those. They're standing on a policy that was written in 1970. Now, many of you probably were privy to a conversation that I had online probably about month and a half ago, where the wrestler, he was asked to cut his hair because of a similar issue. Now, he had dreadlocks and he was a wrestler, and they told him if he didn't cut his hair, he was going to have to, the team was going to have to forfeit the match And I actually hope the volume is pretty good today because it was kind of screwed up on the other day. But that's getting fixed. But anyway, if it's not, just let me know in the comment section. But now, okay, we look into the fact that he was told that. Now, here's the issue. Here's where the difference is. Now, this young man participated in a contact team sport. Yes, the policy or rules were written in the 1970s. Yes, when it was written, there were no people that looked like him, as well as people that wore their hair like him. So the context of what the rules were written for was actually for the safety of the athletes. Because if you remember back in the day, if you know, maybe many of y'all may not be old enough to know, but a lot of times you had these young white boys that had their hair all out and it was long and down to the behinds and all this other stuff, and it was frizzy and it was thick, and they were like, you know what? Yeah, we got to control that. Well, in the midst of controlling that, they created rules, and then they created safety gear around those rules. Well, in this instance, it is not a contact sport. This young man is not participating in a sport. He is literally just going to and from class. Now, I'm gonna go into another one because this is one that was also brought up maybe 4 months ago. Because I know a lot of you guys are privy to the Crown Act that was actually ruled on in California. Because remember, federal law requires the freedom of religion and the freedom of pretty much expression. I'm currently facing a malicious prosecution, was unlawfully arrested for allegedly creating disturbance while conducting a First Amendment audit. I appreciate that, Uncovering America. If you need any help, hit me up. Oh, absolutely. See, because actually, you would actually benefit from the one I'm going to record tonight in regards to the process of setting up that removal. But anyway, I'm gonna go back into that. But a couple months ago, you saw that the California Crown Act was pretty much giving specificity to one's hair. Now, the Crown Act is pretty much allowing people not to be discriminated because of their hairdress. Well, this Texas official from that school district addressed that particular act. Now, keep in mind, that is not here in Texas. In the instance of the Crown Act is not here in Texas. The First Amendment is everywhere. The First Amendment is here in Texas. And this is one of the things that they can stand on, because policy is not law. And one of the things that I'm gonna go into tonight, and I hope you guys are pretty much ready for it, because I noticed the last couple ones, I did not give any actual context on the actual laws I was quoting or the Supreme Court cases. So tonight, you're going to get something that, yeah, I didn't actually do well last time. And give me 1 second. Okay, now one of the ones that I'm going to go through in this instance, because there is another situation where a young man and his mother wanted to have the Crown Act applied to a private school. Well, the issue is, in a private school, the context of how things are done or the context of what is being done are pretty much two separate issues. Because her argument was the fact that she wanted her son to be able to wear a do-rag to school, even though it was a private school. The private school restricted against that. And talking about the do-rag itself, I wanna bring up something, because a lot of you that are sports fans might have understood the turn that happened in 95, 96. And that was David Stern created a dress code and hair, pretty much presentability policy for the NFL. One of the people that had a problem with the policy was Ricky Williams, because he was also a young man that wore dreads. Now, the thing was, Ricky never wanted to wear his hair in a manner of which would be constituted as neat. There was another young man, I can't remember his name, but he played for the Washington Bullets at the time, but he had extremely long dreads. But what he did for interviews and for the game, he actually wore them in a wrap. So when in this case, it goes to the private school because as a private institution, it is pretty much signing up to be part of a club. You don't like the rules of the club, don't go to the club. And that is the stance that they had. The reason why that's different from now, from this young man here in Texas, is the fact that this young man is in a public school. This public school is federally funded. Federal law requires, I'm going to say that one more time, federal law requires that he does not, while this is on the surface not seen as a discrimination case, this is a manner in which discrimination is being applied because it's a policy, not a law. And what I'm going to go into is Griffin v. Why in the hell I keep moving? School Board. 377 U.S. 218 1974. And for all of y'all that probably wonder what I'm doing and how I'm doing it and blah, 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 I use OneNote. And I have a, I have a plethora of notes that I take. So, OneNote from Microsoft. So I do use Microsoft even on my Mac and Apple stuff. So, but yeah, anyway, going back to Griffin v. School Board. And Griffin v. School Board basically goes into the fact, it's like Montel v. New York City Department of Social Services. What most people don't understand is the application of how these lawsuits work, or how these rights are applied, or how these rights are even fought for. What you must understand, even if your child is going to a public school, their rights are not left at the schoolhouse door once they go inside. They still have every right intact. Are there things that are outside the scope of their rights, such as putting books into the school's locker? Now, again, those are things that I will get into later, but these are the premise of it. Can they just idly search the locker? If there's no lock on it, yes. If there is a lock on it, then they need to go through other steps to search that locker. If there are other aspects that go along with it, can they search a child's person? No, because it works the exact same. There needs to be not only a supervisor, but a parent as well, or guardian. They attempt to do this often because they know most people are too afraid to fight them back. Because I actually had one that found out that I wasn't one of them people, because they decided to search my child, and she ended up having to deal with me in court. So these were one of those things where going in and understanding just because your child is in a public school does not mean they are giving up any of their natural human rights. So now everybody wants to text and talk and blah, 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 blah. I appreciate y'all, still love y'all. But I'm doing a damn show, people. Because all of y'all are subscribed. Quit texting me. Anyway. Warren, Michigan. Okay, yeah, I had to switch to the GoPro. The other one was off of my what is this? What is it? This is the 8. This is the old phone. So that's what I shot off of last time, and I think that's probably why it was screwed up. Yeah. So that's why I had to come here instead of where I was at last time, because for whatever reason the GoPro will not connect to the Wi-Fi at the Marriott. So had to make adjustments because I want to make sure you guys can hear me. And plus, now that I'm working on audio, the audio was absolute shit, and editing it is becoming a pain in the ass. It's frustrated me several times. But again, now I'm back on subject. So understanding your child does not shed their rights once they enter a federally funded school or a public school. So keep that in mind. If you're going to a private school does have rules. Private school does have regulations that they must abide by. Now, if they're going outside of their policy, that's when you have issues. But if they are going by the letter of their policy, remember, a private school is a club. If you don't like the rules of the club, go to another club or go to public school. But in this instance, the Texas school in that district is in violation of a human right issue. This is something that you will probably hear play out over the next coming weeks. And as it comes to a conclusion, you will see an inst of where this young man he'll go ahead and graduate, because that's the argument. It's not that he's not a good student. It's not that he's causing trouble. It's because his head wear. It is not something that he's adding to his hair. It is his actual natural hair that's growing out of his body. And those are the things, while they are a policy issue, they are not a legal issue, and they don't have standing to argue against him wearing his hair in the manner in which he does. So, and good chance that they will probably be rewriting those rule books and becoming more strict on how they deal with the acceptance of children, because these are things that will be addressed more than likely on the next coming school year. And this young man will probably be more than happy just to walk, while they'll probably offer him a check. So I thank you guys for watching. What I wanted to make note of is I will start shifting a lot of the more in-depth conversations that I'm going to have to my Patreon platform. It is still Supreme Decisions. I'm going to do a couple of shows. I'm going to actually put that information up. So actually it's in the link. It's one of the links, I believe. Yeah, it's the second link. Patreon.com/Supreme Decisions. This will be content for those that subscribe to Patreon only. And in that case, it's going to be $20 per month, because I looked at a lot of stuff that I've been doing, and also I'm looking at a lot of stuff that I'm planning on doing. This is something that's needed, and those that are actually looking for the education, they will actually be there, support it, subscribe to it, and allow it to grow just like the channel has. I will continue to post on YouTube, even though my stuff is demonetized. You guys can still reach out to me, but understand, on the reach out, I do not work on contingency, and I do not work for free. If you want free, here are the videos, have at it. If you want help, you want guidance, you want my time, you have to have one of these links ready to go. So I love you guys. And Sunday, I will be doing a question and answer session. And I don't think there are any games Sunday, so I'll probably do one early. around noon-ish my time. So it'll be 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Central, noon Mountain Time, and 11 a.m. Pacific. And that's all I got for you guys right now. I will be back on probably later, and the camera probably won't be this clear because I'll probably be close to the Marriott. And let's keep going, let's keep growing. Love you guys.